So what is going on, guys? You're going to be taking a look at Transformers Earthrise / Kingdom arcee. And arcee here is pretty good looking, actually. She looks a lot like you'd want arcee to look. In all honesty, she has the one accessory, which is the pistol, which, as you can see, is a translucent plastic. Looks pretty nice, though, the detailing. Looks pretty alright. It also has storage on her fairly clean back. arcee with a clean back? That seems a bit weird. A little weird. Why is that so weird? Her heels are also massive for some reason. I don't think they'd need to be that big. She doesn't really have that big of a backpack. Well, that's because it's missing half of the backpack. Here we have half of arcee's alt mode, which is her second accessory, technically. Yeah, they made the arcee figure so that the backpack is half removable, and she can use it as a stand, as it has Titan's return type peg points on it, so you can stand figure on it, if I can get her to stand on it, because she won't stand on it for some reason. Also, I popped the little antenna bit out, because that constantly pops out. I don't know why it does, but it does. Let's see if I can get her to stand on it. I think it's because I'm putting her on it wrong. I think that's what it might be. That's definitely what it was. But yeah, she can stand on it. She has pegs on it, and there is little ports on the back for effect parts, which I didn't grab any. And I have a couple now. But yeah, so the figure just comes with this. And we'll talk about it in a minute, but first we're actually going to just take a look at the figure. The painting on the figure is pretty nice, and she is primarily pink and white, but she has a bit of gray in the stomach area, which I think is a bit weird because it's definitely a simulated crop top. It's clearly a belly button, right? Like, that's clear as day a belly button. There's no way. I don't know why that's a design part of arcee, but it is. But also it makes no sense because you turn around, the gray is just gone, and it's just white again. Shouldn't that technically be gray back here? Weirdness, I know. It's really weird. As far as the figure goes, I mean, it does look a lot like arcee, and it does work as an arcee. If you wanted an arcee for your shelf, this is like the perfect arcee for you. It was the perfect arcee, and then they decided to release a new Series 86 one that looks amazing, and, I mean, it's double the price. I only paid like 20 bucks for this. I got her and Shadow Panther on the exact same day. They were both cheap. They were both shelf-warming figures, so they marked them down, and I bought them. I also got Ractonite too, but Ractonite's a Christmas present, so I gotta wait for Ractonite. But yeah, other than that, yeah, this arcee's decent enough in the robot department. Her articulation's pretty solid. She has a ball joint in the head, outward, forward, no back, because backpack. Elbow there. The elbow does go a bit beyond 90. Her hands can rotate in and out. She does have a waist, forward and back, a swivel there, and another swivel. She has two swivels. One's for transformation, double knee joint, and an ankle tilt. And she does have a weird rotation. It does do it, but it's really weird. Really strange. But now to get to the worst part of the robot mode. The additional backpack assembly, which is technically the second accessory. Did I show off the gun? I don't think I did. Gun. I think I did. But there it is. The gun. Translucent gun. I'm not sure this is the second take. The other one, the camera fell over like 20 seconds into the review, so then I said, I bet, and just restarted. So she has this wicked backpack, and I do mean wicked, which has this little pull-out white bit here, which you do have to pull out to get it to go on the bits. Because, yes, this does peg into the back, and it can be put on her back. It slots in pretty easily, and there's actually a button on this side. If you press, it'll clip on, and then it'll peg into her back. Now, I have more of a creative mindset on this backpack, because I like to think of it as a shield. Kind of like a riot shield, which it would explain why she wields such a tiny pistol. There's that button I mentioned. You pull that out. But you can kind of get her to hold this a decent bit. You can actually get her to hold the shield. All you have to do is put her hand on that one there, and she holds it pretty well. And it can kind of act like a riot shield, which is cool. Like I said, she holds it decently well. It's not like a super good connection. You can kind of manage to run her arm through the entire length of the white bit. It'll definitely hold on better, but the bend's a bit more hindered. But she does wield it way better when you do that. So she can just wield it as like a big shield. Not that you'd want it to. I mean, it's kind of bad. But yeah, that's the robot mode. I didn't show the storage. Did I show storage? I did. I did show storage. I already showed the gun. I know I did. I'm just thinking I didn't for some reason. Now, we're going to put this on her back because we're going to be putting her into her alt form and doing the transformation. So press on that button. Make sure it goes into the right side first and then the left side. It makes it 10 times easier. And then peg that in. And she can stand. That's why those heels are so big. Never mind. Alright, so let's get into the transformation, which isn't fun. Rotate the back panel down like that and leave it for a minute. I'm going to come to the main body of arcee and I'm going to start flipping out bits from the backpack because the transformation is entirely handled by the backpack. I'm not joking. Nothing from the robot mode ends up visible in the alt form. Not a thing. Nothing. Nada. Nothing becomes a component anywhere. At least with the new version, this chest piece actually will end up being the front of the car, which is really cool. They actually put a lot of effort in that one, and I kind of want it. But I also don't, because I already own this one. So it's kind of like one of those things, it's like, do I get a figure? If it goes on, like, discount, I would get it. I would 100% get it. Other than that, though, I don't know if I'd really want another arcee, considering I already have one. Next thing I'm going to do is come into the backpack and fold out the wheels, and then fold out these little pink bits here as well. And they just kind of fold out like that. Now you're getting into the really fun part of the figure, which is the stupidness of this transformation. It's a really stupid transformation. It's really not a good transformation. So her legs kind of go in an intriguing way. They fold up, and then they kind of... I gotta try to remember this real quick. I haven't transformed her in forever. So this is a fun part here. I'm trying to remember how the legs exactly go, because I did have a method of knowing where they exactly would fit and slide into. So actually, before you put the legs into place, you want to put the arms in place. And then make sure that the back section is pegged in properly. That's one thing I'd recommend you do. Is make sure the back's pegged in. This is going to be a long review just because of how bad the transformation is. And also because of how I just spent 5 minutes talking about the robot mode being not very good. So the thing is with the alt mode here, is you're probably noticing there's there's a little peg right there. And that's what's causing me to not be able to push that down into place. There we go. And yeah, the arms, genuinely, they just fold down to her sides. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. You just fold them down like that. Also, you're supposed to rotate her head around, because that's a step, apparently. And that is a step in the instruction manual, is rotate her head. And you gotta take her legs. And what you do is kind of put them on an angle, and they will kind of catch right there. So you got to make sure that they kind of catch on this little pink peg there. And they're on an angle like that. I'm not joking. I wish I was. Sometimes that doesn't work either, because the legs are not in the right place. There is arcee's alt mode. That's such a bad transformation. It's unacceptable how bad that is. Look at it. Look at it. She just folds up underneath the car. That's all she does. Her legs barely transform. It's such a bad transformation. It's just awful. It's an awful transformation. The car mode, I do like, though. It is RC, and it does look nice, but it just sucks how it's just a backpack. That's all it is. She's literally the epitome of a shell former. The epitome of a shell former. Nothing more. She is a shell-forming figure. That's it. Like, even the other guys, when they're shell formers, at least they do something unique with the shell. They, like, put it in places. This doesn't do anything with it. Half of it's removable. The part that's not removable is up front here. That's it. This whole rear section from the windshield back is removable. It doesn't have to be on the figure. I use it as a stand. That's what I use it for. You can use it as a shield, sure, like I said, but that's if you're, like, imaginative with it, I guess. Other than that, though, nothing really that cool. Even turning around, it's a hollow gap. One thing I do like is how these kind of simulate rare lights, but even then, it's so stupid. But they do kind of do it, and they do look kind of red because the light's shining through the pink. It's a cool simulation effect, but they shouldn't be simulating it. Why did they make this figure this bad? It's not good. At all. The weapon storage, nothing. There's hollow space up here. You could have done something else with the arms. You could have. But they go down there for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. The figure just looks awful underneath. It's genuinely baffling how bad this thing looks. Underneath. The transformation's terrible. And it just is. The alt mode is decent, mind you, but like I said, it's not worth it getting here, because it's just not a fun transformation. I was just getting my thoughts on this figure, because it's not a good figure. It isn't. This figure is not good, and the fact that I paid $20 for it, I'm not super mad at it, but if I had paid a full $40 for this figure, that's Canadian, by the way, if I had paid the full $40 Canadian for this thing, I think I would have been mad. I would have been really mad. I knew what I was getting myself into when I bought it. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew I was buying what a lot of people considered the worst toy from Earthrise and Kingdom. I knew I was getting into that. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know I was going to do that. It's not like I was, like, unaware, like, oh, this thing's going to be crazy good. I seen the reviews of it. I seen everything about it. I knew it wasn't good. But I bought it because it was RC and it was there. And I hadn't had an RC that looks like this ever. I have plenty of other RCs, but I didn't have a G1 looking RC. And months later, they announced, oh yeah, we're doing another one. But this one's, like, good. And that's just how it is with Hasbro at this rate. They also did that with Ironhide. They've done it a few times now. They're like, oh, here's this one character that people want. And then let's just re-release it again. But way better than the initial release of it. I mean, as far as RC goes, man, if you were to get an RC, I'd either hold off for the studio one, or I'd actually go back and get the Generations one from, like, 2014. That one's 10 times better. 10 times better than this one ever will be. This thing's awful. Like, I have not given a sub 2.5 rating. I'm giving this a 1.5 out of 5. This thing is not good. The robot mode, while it looks nice, half of it's is removable. Half of it's removable. The transformation sucks. The alt mode looks nice, but I don't like getting there, so what's the point? So that's been my review of Transformers Kingdom / Earthrise RC. This has been Eilt Elite, signing out.